I think we should be able to have a look now at some pictures that we have got of Rishi Sunak meeting with King Charles. There they are at Buckingham Palace, all smiles, the two men, as they meet. And, of course, King Charles formally invites Rishi Sunak to form a new government. Well, let's bring in our events commentator, Alistair Bruce, shall we? The picture there of them shaking hands.
It is the start of the audience that the King will have given and will have now proceeded probably towards its close. It's quite moving too, the first time that the King receives someone and invites them to form a government. And we remember the photograph quite recently of his mother, the Queen, inviting Rishi Sunak's predecessor not so long ago up at Balmoral. But for the King, a chance to talk, and he always allows the chance of pictures to be taken before the doors are closed, and it would have been behind closed doors that the King, alone with Rishi Sunak, would have invited him to become the head of government and to give him, therefore, as sovereign, the leadership of the executive of the United Kingdom. Photographs now just released.
And Alistair, I'm always so fascinated to know what goes on with these audiences, but they're always so tightly controlled, aren't we? We just get the briefest of statements from the palace, just giving us the facts on what took place with Liz Truss earlier today. But prime ministers really value them, don't they? And I'm sure Rishi Sunak will be no different.
The palace always balances the fact that there is public interest in seeing the meeting of the head of state and the head of government, but also that this is a very private moment. So you have to balance those by getting the photograph at the beginning, and these photographs were clearly taken as the King received Rishi Sunak right after he'd been introduced to him by the King's equerry, Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Thompson. But then, you know, once those doors are closed, and until any Prime Minister breaks the code, we're just not going to know what goes on. We know constitutionally that the King has the right to know what is going on. He has the privilege of being able to give warning or to take advice or even to just in every way interrogate the Prime Minister. But also the Prime Minister has a chance to talk in complete confidence with a sort of avuncular figure of his sovereign. And that relationship is perhaps the only place a Prime Minister can find that kind of confidentiality. So these photographs do mark the beginning of a relationship between head of government with the head of state, the King, which will take its journey forward. And it's going to be such a challenging leadership and premiership by Rishi Sunak as Prime Minister. And I'm sure all the way through, the King will be deeply conscious of his constitutional position as head of state and wanting that the progress be done in the most effective way for the benefit of all people who live in the United Kingdom.